In the
Don?
words of Steve Martin, may I go to the restroom? Thank you. All right.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Are you
Boom.
just sitting on a
Good
bowl?
job.
Very nice. Hello, folks, and welcome to episode 1 of Real Amigos. I am one of your hosts, Chris White, and with me, as always, is Donnie Miles. Donnie, say hi.
Hello.
Donnie, I like
From
your...
Jacksonville.
You always have to add something. You're kind of like, what's his name from the Good Place? You're kind of like that guy, Jake Jordals. And also with us, of course, is Philip Miles. Phil, how you doing, man?
Good. Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo está? Donnie came dressed for the occasion. If you're watching the video version of the podcast, Donnie is wearing a sombrero, and he has a nice, is that an eagle pinata you got right there, Don?
It's a parrot.
Oh, it's a parrot. Oh, very nice.
We can't see it. You're pointing at it, and we can't see it.
I could see it.
Oh, really? It's because I'm not in full screen, maybe.
Oh, maybe. There you go. It's very. I'd like you just to. What I'd like is the rest of the show. I'd like you to just talk to the parrot. Would be nice. So.
Or just a shot of the parrot with Donnie's voice.
Oh, that would be great. Just put the parrot in front of your face. We'll do that.
Feeling the love. Feeling the love.
All right, if you're tuning in and you don't know where you are, let me help you out. Real Amigos is a podcast dedicated to movies that we love. And tonight we're going to be talking about the classic from 1986, The Three Amigos, which is actually where we get our namesake. When we decided to do this and wanted to come up with a name, Three Amigos instantly popped up. There's three of us. We all like Mexican food, and one of us own a sombrero. So we're like, that's what we should do. And so that being the case, we thought it would only be fitting to do Three Amigos for our first episode. So before we jump in, we like to break the ice with a general question, just to kind of ease into our topic. The question tonight is actually going to be about the actors. So Three Amigos starred Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and Martin Short.
And
They were
Tony
the only ones in the whole movie.
They were the only ones in the whole movie. That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
They played every part.
Every part. It was a silent film.
That would only be true if Eddie Murphy were in this film.
That is true. That
Yes.
is true. So I will say that real quick before we jump into this, I thought it was an interesting note. The actual film, the film notes of the movie lists Chevy Chase in top billing. However, all the promotional stuff lists Steve Martin.
Steve Martin, yep.
Which is interesting. So, both of those
That is
guys.
some contractual debate there, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, both of those guys at this time was like right in the heart of kind of where they were great. And and so that was
And Martin Short was just happy to be in something.
Martin Short, this is actually Martin Short's first feature film. So
He's
He's
just coming on the scene, man.
that's right. I'm glad to be here.
to be Ned?
Ned, what was Ned's last name?
Nederlander.
Yeah, that's right.
Nederlander.
Nederlander,
Ned
that's right.
Nederlander.
That's right. All right, so let's do this. We'll go around the horn. Donnie, I'll start with you. We'll go round robin and we'll do all three actors. So let's start with Chevy Chase. So what we're asking are what other Chevy Chase movies do you love? So Donnie, you wanna go?
All right, favorite Chevy Chase, Fletch, right off the bat. Fletch is the best. Love Fletch.
Did they do a sequel?
They did, but it wasn't that good. It's called Fletch Lives.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that one.
It's subpar. But
Yeah.
Fletch is classic Chevy Chase. It's the perfect Chevy Chase movie. Caddyshack's a close second.
Yeah.
But he wasn't as prominent in that. Fletch is pure Chevy Chase wheelhouse, his movie.
Yeah.
It's good. I watched that movie. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that movie, man. More than 30, I guarantee it. It's
Oh,
a
man.
bunch.
Your
It is
your
funny.
favorite line.
And he draws the foul. That will make no sense to you unless you see the movie.
There's using a whole fist.
Using the fist dock is good. Moon River. I'll have a steak sandwich and a steak sandwich. Anyway, There's some good. It's good stuff, man.
There's probably one person listening to the show right now that's fist pumping. That
does this proposition involve me dressing up as Mary Poppins in any way?
That's basically, that's how I start all my job interviews, actually.
You criticize Fletch Lives, but I remember going to see Fletch Lives at the theater with you.
Yes.
It was like a promotional night, and I got the Fletch Lives fold-out wallet of all the IDs from the characters that he played in that movie.
Nice.
Yes, I remember that very well.
All right, Phil, what about you? Favorite Chevy Chase movie?
It's probably Fletch. Yeah. I couldn't even name another Chevy Chase movie besides
Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Funny Farm.
Yeah. I wasn't even thinking. Yeah.
He's in all the Vacation.
Vacation Part 1.
Funny Farm is good. Yeah.
Spies Like Us.
Yeah, that's not so great.
These are all good ones.
Yeah.
They're not Fletch,
but yeah. I didn't think a lot about that question. Sorry.
Sorry, that was my fault. I didn't give
Chris,
you enough
what's your
warning.
favorite Chevy Chase movie?
So I
Chris?
mean, I would go Christmas Vacation. Christmas Vacation is probably because of it being a holiday film. It's probably a movie that I've watched more than almost any other film in my life, just because
annually.
Yeah, because I at least watch it once a year, if not more. And it's just, I still crack up. I mean,
it's great.
I love it from start to finish. I mean, probably my favorite part is the newel post. With the chainsaw, fix the newel post, just hacks it off. I love it. I love the national anthem for Grace. They want you to say grace.
God bless.
God bless. That's right. Have you ever seen Fletch?
I have not. No, I've never seen Fletch. I've heard good stuff. Now I do like Caddyshack would be a close second for me. I love Caddyshack. I've never seen Fletch. I was going to throw this out though. I have recently started watching, and I can't believe it's taken me this long to start watching it, but I've recently started watching the Community.
Do you just now?
Just now, I know. Like I said, I don't know why, but I've literally within the last couple of weeks I started watching Community, and Chevy Chase is so great on Community.
I don't think you're gonna like that show past season 3 or 4.
Oh yeah, well,
it starts to get all meta and weird.
It's it's funny. It's funny right now. It's hilarious right now. He just tried to write the song. It's just anyway. It's funny. Chevy Chase is really funny in that. All right, moving on. Steve Martin. Phil, we'll start with you. Favorite Steve Martin film or movie or moving picture?
Parenthood.
Oh wow. Okay,
that's a good choice.
I definitely wouldn't have gone there, but yeah.
Friends slow down. They even stop.
Right.
Plus, I'm connected to that movie because they filmed it. They filmed it near our house.
How proud you must be.
They filmed that movie I Drive, close to.
They filmed it out at the raceway in Buffalo, the drag racing. Yeah.
But I thought they did one of the restaurants down near our house.
They did. They were all over Orlando when we were there.
So yeah, that's
a good choice. I like Parenthood.
Yeah, Parenthood's good. When I think of Steve Martin,
it's also my favorite Western because Steve Martin dresses up like a cowboy.
He does indeed.
I don't think that counts.
Very good.
I don't think that counts.
He shows his. I liked it because he went from being that was his I feel like that was his move from slapstick to actually showing some chops.
Okay. That's fair enough. Yeah, I mean it's a good movie. It's not one that I think about, but when you said it, I'm like, yeah, it's good. I like Parenthood. All right, Donnie, what about you? Steve Martin.
Oh, my favorite Steve Martin movie probably is going to be Roxanne.
Oh, that's a good one.
Which is really good. The Jerk is definitely up there. That's so just flat out classically hilarious.
I was raised a poor black kid boy.
Yeah, it's that movie.
My favorite part of that movie is when the mom comes in right there at the beginning, and she's like, "I should have told you this a long time ago. You were adopted." He's like, "You mean I'm gonna stay this color?"
I'm gonna stay. You gotta love the Jerk. Roxanne's great because of the quick wit with the nose and all.
Yeah.
And seeing when he does all the jokes in the bar right in a row, 30 in a row. Yeah. That's classic. I love that scene.
Yeah. It's good. For me, I want to give a shout out to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
That's up there.
One of my favorite movies.
Of
that era. But for me, it is The Jerk. I watched The Jerk so much. I watch this jerk so much, but when I think my favorite scene is when he's leaving, when he's getting kicked out of the house and he just keeps taking stuff. I don't need anything but just this ashtray. By the time he's done, I don't need anything but this lawn chair, and this umbrella, and this ashtray.
It's these cans. He hates these cans.
So that's good. I'll start with Martin Short. Martin Short definitely doesn't have as like as big of a film career.
No,
he's definitely more of a kind of a like a bit part or kind of a side character. So for me, I love it's Franz, right, from Father of the Bride 1 or 2. Was it Franz? Yeah,
right.
Or Frock or something like that. Yeah. I love both of the Father of the Bride movies. The first one specifically, and Steve Martin's in that too, and he's great in it as well. But Martin Short to me is just fantastic in Father of the Bride. So Phil, what about you, Martin Short?
So I was so bereft of opportunities to pick a Martin Short movie. I thought of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and that's Rick Moranis.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
We can go with that. That's fine.
Probably.
I can toss you some options out if you want some options. You got Inner Space. You got Pure Luck.
He was in Santa Claus 3.
Pure Luck. Pure Luck. He sticks a straw up his nose.
Have you ever seen Clifford? That's
insane. Right. Yes.
He is wicked in that movie.
And he's the lead in that movie.
Oh, he spooks me out in that movie. Yeah. He looks weird.
Yeah.
In that
movie. Seen it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
It's freaky. He's like a child.
Yeah.
But
he's a kid.
Oh man.
It's weird.
It's weird. It's good.
Well, Martin Short's best thing ever was that Saturday Night Live sketch when they were doing synchronized swimming.
Yeah, synchronized swimming. Absolutely. Actually, I love him on Arrested Development when they carry him around.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Oh man, I forgot he was even.
I think it's that
that's
scene,
right.
Or that season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, he's good.
Clifford, that sounds familiar. I'm gonna.
Yeah, you have to watch it.
Looking at my phone because I want to see the cover of that movie real fast.
Fine. That's fine. It's very odd. Donnie, what about you, Martin Short?
Mine is Three Amigos. Actually, I think this was his best movie.
Yeah. He's great. He's great. I love watching Martin Short try to dance.
God.
The way he dances in this movie, which we'll talk about in a minute, but in this movie, in the bar when him and Steve Martin are dancing, is just fantastic. All right,
I would have said Clifford was my favorite Warren Beatty film.
It's Charles Grodin, man.
Or Charles Grodin.
Have you ever watched any movies, Phil, in your whole life?
Clifford, starring Rick Moranis and Warren Beatty.
You nailed it.
Oh, man, that's alternate timelines there. All right. With that being said, I think we've done enough of this messing around, right? Let's jump into why we're here. So we are here tonight to discuss our namesake, the Three Amigos.
This is like our favorite movie ever.
Here's to get the conversation started. I want to hear, when was the first time you saw it, and it doesn't have to be like exact year, but can you remember seeing it? Was it in the theater? Like, where was it? When and where was it? And what was your initial thought? So Donnie, as the grandpa of the group, tell us.
I saw it. I saw it in the theater with my family in 1986. I don't remember the exact theater, but it was in Orlando. And I thought it was absolutely hilarious. I thought it cracked me up. We loved it. Philip was probably there.
I was going to say, I saw it in the theater in 1986.
Do you remember it in the theater, Phil? I mean,
no. The funny thing about Three Amigos is I don't ever remember seeing it for the first time. It's just a movie you watch.
Yeah.
I've seen it a bunch. Like, it's a quotable.
Yeah.
The infamous, like I've said that so many times in life.
Famous.
The infamous.
It's more than famous.
I love when he's describing it. He uses his hands and he's like famous, like he's inside of it. It's just so good.
So I don't remember. It's like part of the backdrop.
Yeah, I tend to I probably fall into that same camp. What I remember is when I was young, like maybe early teenage years, TNT used to play a lot of these movies, like just at random times. And I think I saw a lot of, when I say these movies, I mean like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and Caddyshack, and a lot of these kind of classic comedy movies. I remember them from TNT, and I don't know when it was, but I remember just watching it on TV and just absolutely loving it. It was slapstick, but not like purposely stupid slapstick. Like at the time that I watched it, there were things like Naked Gun that were already out, and Hot Shots and stuff like that. But this was like highbrow slapstick, which I thought was really good.
Well, there's another movie, Chris, that you might be familiar with that came out the same year as Three Amigos, a little film called The Fly. So
yeah, I'm very familiar with that, and that may be why I waited so long.
We talked about The Fly last time.
We did.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why he brought it up.
That was his first movie that he remember seeing in the theater. Remember?
Yeah. He
was scarred for years. That's why he watched TNT all the time. He couldn't go to the movies.
I really wish that I saw Three Amigos instead of The Fly. Looking back.
We need to do a Fly episode. That would be great.
Yeah.
I want to watch that.
Oh my god! Remade, by the way.
You know what?
How was that?
It probably will be at some point. I haven't watched it to this day. I've never watched that movie all the way through. Like, it's just one of those movies that when it comes up, it's just like, zoop. No, I don't think so. Not for me. Okay, so let's talk. So I want to start. So the movie starts with them doing silent pictures. Let me ask you a question. And if you looked this up, because Donnie, it looks like you did a little research. So if you know it because you looked it up, don't say it. But when do you think the film was set? What year do you think it was set in?
If I was guessing, I would say like 1910 or something like that, probably. Early 1900s.
Yeah, 1912, 1915, because you've got planes.
Yeah,
but Mexico still seems like, yeah, 19-something.
So the answer is 1916. Like, I fell on the other side of that. I felt like this was a much later movie, like as I remember it in my head. I guess I picture Mexico just being underdeveloped. So I mean, I was thinking like 30s or 40s, and these guys are going back. So as we rewatch it to get ready for this, I realized, like the cars, if you watch it back, when they get thrown out of, like, the cars are like Model T Fords. I'm like, I'm like, is this really this old? Like, it really surprised me that it was set.
Well, that's why I said what I said, was because of the silent movies.
Yeah,
that was still in the silent age of film.
Right.
So
yeah, well, I don't know. I guess when my memory of this when I watched it was, it was probably like the back the 50s, 40s or 50s, right before we got color TV or whatever. But I was Samsonite. I was way off.
You were way off.
So I will say I think my favorite scene in the movie. Well, maybe not my favorite, but the one that I laugh the hardest at is when Steve Martin is trying to get their attention on the wall.
Oh yeah.
And I just die laughing.
He actually says in his thing that he's doing, because like in the movies you always hear like they say, make like a sound like a whippoorwill or something, like a bird.
Yeah.
And he actually says, Whippoorwill.
And then he's like, look up here.
That's pretty funny.
It's man. Every time I watch that,
what's funnier about that scene, even I think with Steve Martin, is that the other two guys pull off the dumb aspect of being able to sit there and not know what's going on.
They're like, literally right. They're like 8 feet away from him, straight down.
But they look so engaged in everything else. Like, they make it look really legit. Yeah. Like they don't know what's going on.
They're looking out, man. They got to look out.
Right.
Oh man, it's just so funny.
Yeah. It is funny.
So I love the guy who writes the letter, the telegram.
Yes.
He reminds me of anybody, any salesperson of all time. And he's just like, oh, you only have 10 pesos. Here's what we can do. So, yeah. I mean, Phil, right? Phil's entered the world of salesman.
I'm a salesman.
That resonate with you a little bit.
I had to do.
If we take the rear view mirrors off, let's just take the rear view mirrors off. We'll pull the airbags out. You don't need air conditioning. It's Michigan. Exactly. You don't need air conditioning.
Right. That's called the takeaway. I performed that sales tactic just last night. I think we've landed on the wrong car. It's possible that you want more than you can afford. Here's what 10 pesos will get you.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm sure you probably do that a lot here.
That is a good scene when he cuts.
I don't do it a lot. That would insinuate that I sell a lot of cars. So no, I don't do it a lot.
Oh, this isn't Phil. This isn't Phil therapy, Phil.
This is therapy. Oh, my bad.
I mean, I guess kind of it
is. Podcast gotta really take off.
I guess kind of it is. Do you guys think that the lead actress is attractive?
Not at all.
Man, I didn't think she was at all.
Really? No. I thought she was attractive.
I don't know. I don't know.
Saying that, but...
Well, I mean, I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean like I felt like she looked, like just kind of, I don't know. Not lead ladylike.
I thought she was cute
at the beginning. Cut that out.
Okay, so here's.
No, I felt like she didn't look Mexican.
Yeah, maybe that's it. She
looked something else.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
She looked like maybe, I don't know.
Maybe what? Why don't you wade into that water, Chris?
I think we should maybe not talk about this.
I haven't seen.
I wasn't a big fan.
The whole thing about the girl.
Okay. Let's talk about the Russian. Was he German? The German.
German.
So here's the thing about the German. He walks in, right? He gets a drink. He talks, does his little thing, whatever. The guy behind him starts catcalling him.
Yes.
He eventually says, "Come and sit on my lap."
Yes, he does. That's very disturbing.
I think that is the whole thing is the whole thing because they do the musical number 2 and everybody joins in to dance. Like, is there later. A gay innuendo there?
No, I don't know.
Is there like a Mexican gay bar in 1916?
Maybe, but that's later. I just found it surprising. Like, he starts by saying, "Hey man," he's like, it sounds like he's gonna be like, "Don't be coming in our bar, man." And then he's like, "Why don't you come sit on my lap?" I'm like, where? And it's not like
where did that
if this
come
was
from?
Here, if this was Martin Short, like, I kind of get it. He's a petite, little guy. This is a big German guy with a flippin' he's got an aviator hat. He's got an aviator hat on. He can't even bother to take his aviator hat. He can't even bother to take his aviator hat on. He has the aviator hat and the glasses. And this guy...
What's he going to do? He's going to carry that around?
It is a weird scene, man.
I'm just saying, that's a weird thing to say to that guy.
Well, you had to set him up so he can blow that guy away.
Sure, but he could have said something like...
to have all of his sensibilities offended.
He could have said something like,
"We don't... ugly.
We
don't want your kind in here,"
exactly.
Or something. Not come sit on my lap.
You got to go with what you know, I guess.
Next time somebody makes me mad, that's what I'm going to tell them. "Hey, man, you want to come sit on my lap?" So then the amigos come into the bar, and then we talked about the dance scene a little bit earlier. That dance scene is one of my favorite scenes because
Sweet little
they just completely own that dance, and I just
Smile.
I wrote in my notes you couldn't pick 2 better guys to do that bit.
So
they're perfect for that. They have all the movements down. It's insane. It's completely insane.
It's ridiculous. Insane. And then I love
their faces.
I know.
They're just loving it.
Like
Chris said, they own it. There's no. It's like
so funny.
They own it. I love it. And then I love they make the guys sing along.
Yes.
Which is
It's like doing row your boat. It's like, okay, over here.
Smile,
Over here.
smile.
Oh, and these idiots think that they're killing, which I love. Like they just think that they are.
Did they? Okay, I
killing.
think I missed something, but maybe you saw it. Did the German have a white handle pistol? Because they kind of show a close up of their pistols when they walk in, like they're kind of like looking at them. They're like, then they show the close up of the handle of the pistol, and they all kind of like sober up.
Yeah,
so
I think.
I wonder if the pistol's kind of like, oh, these are the guys, you know?
Yeah, that might have been actually. Now that I think about it, I think they all had maybe not white handle, but they all had like
maybe
shiny
a certain
silver,
style or something.
Yeah, like shiny.
I'm gonna have to
silver
go back and
guns.
check that because that feels like there's a connection there.
That's mother of pearl would be the appropriate, not
Ivory.
shiny style.
Ivory handle.
Sorry, Doc Holliday, we didn't get that.
George Patton.
I got from that scene that they were just really odd. You know, like the German's like, my friends are coming, and he's like, how are we gonna know? And
No.
You're gonna
I think
know.
that too, but there's definitely a scene where they show a close up of
guns.
Steve Martin's gun when he walks in front of the camera.
Yeah.
It's on the gun,
Yeah,
and that made me think I want to go see if the German had a white handled pistol.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That makes sense. I love it. I love Chevy Chase playing the piano. I just
yes,
I love okay. So here's the thing. I don't think that I've ever really appreciated Chevy Chase as much as I have in the last few weeks watching this movie again and watching Community. I think he is so funnier than I ever
watch Fletch.
thought he was. I'm gonna watch Fletch now. But I just love when he's like, "Oh, I haven't played now. All right, I'll try." And he just walks over. It's like this. It's just like this humble, cocky brag that I.
That's his
see
whole
so good.
demeanor, especially in that era. Like everything was kind of like downplayed, but I don't know. It's just
So here's a question: who's the funniest of the three? Who could you watch for hours on end more than the other two? See, to me, I think it would be Steve Martin. I think Steve Martin's the funniest of that era. Just as if he was still in slapstick mode, 1986 mode.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was.
Yeah.
I mean, he was. I mean, not then, not that late, but his stand-up was what, late 70s, early 80s. Like he was doing stadium stand-up shows.
Yeah.
When stand-up comedy wasn't even really a thing yet. Like mainstream, like it is today, where everybody.
Chevy Chase is pretty physical. All three of them are really physical comedians, though.
Yeah,
that's the cool part about the movie is how physical they all are. But anyway,
I would agree. I think Steve Martin's the best. I think he's the strongest actor.
Going back though to the earlier reference, I think if you're weighing some of the movies that they've been in, it has to be Martin Short.
Pure luck all day long, 24-hour cycle.
Oh,
Stung by a bee.
Hey, we forgot about Captain Ron. That's a great Martin Short movie. Captain Ron.
Oh, that's right.
Kurt Russell.
Yes.
Anyway.
See, he's Steve
Martin.
think he's good. Yeah, I think Steve Martin is the better actor, of the three. While I don't necessarily think he's
funnier.
You think he's funnier than Chevy? Like, see, I think maybe in longer bursts. I think in short bursts, I think maybe Chevy Chase is funnier.
Maybe.
I think
his stick would get old, but anyway, they're all funny. I enjoy them. I just thought.
Yeah, I do like Steve Martin. I love when they finally get to the village. I love when they're eating dinner, and Chevy Chase is like,
trying.
"Do you have anything besides Mexican food? We're from out of town."
When he's trying to make the burrito and it all falls out, it's like. That's him. That's his shit.
Yeah, that's his style.
He's so good.
The whole
he's so good.
Yeah.
So we get introduced to the bad guys, right? So we have Jefe and El Guapo.
El Guapo.
So which may be the funniest characters in the actual movie. They obviously don't get as much screen time. But I think that they're fantastic. Jefe to me is probably my favorite part of the movie. I laugh almost every time he's on screen.
If you want a woman,
He makes you want to take a shower after watching it too. It's so
They're-
grimy.
they're-
It's
te-
like
their
watching
teeth-
15 minutes. Remember that movie? 15 minutes? Where the
Uh-uh.
Russian guys are all sweaty the whole movie?
I don't
That's
think I've
the
ever seen
Mexican guys in this movie. That's
It
like,
is. And
Why?
then when they open their mouth,
I know they have those teeth. The
back,
teeth are so bad.
like, oh my god, please get a toothbrush. Yeah,
Speaking of
he's
teeth-
good. That guy is really funny.
speaking of
He's,
teeth and needing a toothbrush, have you ever wondered how long in real life, not just the movie, it took Chevy Chase to get all that sand out of his mouth?
Oh.
you mean Martin Short?
Or Martin Short.
Yeah, Martin Short,
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm
Just like,
guessing that was cinnamon or something, and
Dude,
he's
cinnamon
lucky he didn't
was
die.
Yeah, that would be rough too. Yeah, yeah. Oh, jeez.
Bump.
Well, if you read when they shot the silent I don't know if you read this, but when they shot the silent film parts at the beginning, they actually used lead-based makeup, all three of them, for the to shoot the movie. They used lead-based makeup.
I'm surprised they're all alive still.
Yeah, I mean, are they really though?
Wow.
Actually, Steve Martin's hilarious now because all he does is play banjo. He has a bluegrass band, which I think is funny that's what
He
his
was
life
in
is now.
Comedians in Cars getting coffee.
Well, I know.
and
Well, I mean, he still like makes.
It was
appear-
great.
he's
He
really
talked about
funny.
his retirement from stand-up, and he's like, nobody knew. Like, I stopped doing stand-up.
and nobody knew.
Nobody knew.
So okay, so we have this quest they have to go on to find El Guapo's base or whatever mansion fortress, and they get the instructions to talk past the singing tree, and then what is it? The invisible knight? Is that what it is?
Invisible sword, isn't it? The swordsman.
Swordsman, I thought.
Invisible swordsman.
Maybe
I thought.
that's why. That part made absolutely no sense to me.
Okay. Trivia. Did you look up the trivia on this?
Oh no.
No.
Have you ever seen The Man with Two Brains? It's Steve Martin. It's great. It's
I've
great.
heard of
I
it.
don't think
Never
so.
saw it.
But
It was black
it's
and white,
the-
wasn't it?
No, that was Dead Men Wear Plaid.
Okay.
There's a movie called The Man with Two Brains. Anyway, his name in the movie, he's a doctor, and his name is Dr. That's how he says it in the movie. And he says that when he reads out of the book in Three Amigos. He says his name, or whatever, and he shoots the gun.
No, I didn't know that. I thought it was hilarious that there was a singing bush, and there was
Randy Newman, man.
It was Randy Newman. That's right,
You
Randy
got
Newman
a friend in me.
voice. He
I
actually.
love that he's singing "She'll Be Coming Round the Mountain When She Comes." Really? Okay.
He wrote this movie too. Did you know? I mean, did you realize that? So he
Randy Newman?
I did actually. I remember seeing that.
he
now
wrote
that you said
the. This is his only feature writing. He
Cool,
wrote it
sweet.
with Lorne Michaels.
I had no idea.
And then he composed the music. He did the original songs, and then he's the voice of the singing bush. I just find it hilarious that even though it is roughly a slapstick comedy, everything is relatively believable until the moment that they get to a singing
The
bush
singing bush.
and an
singing
invisible
bush.
swordman.
Moses in the Wilderness.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, that was great.
Why does
Why does he shoot straight? We both shot up. We shot up.
Oh man, we skip past, but I do like when Chevy Chase gets shot, and they have that moment of realization.
No, that's Steve
real.
Martin.
Oh, that's right, that's right. Steve Martin.
Steve Martin gets shot? He walks over and he's like,
Dude,
This is real.
it's real.
he says it's real. He goes, yes, it's real.
real.
And then they start crying. The crying scene is great.
Chevy Chase.
Chevy
is like,
Chase is great in the crying scene. He's the best. And then
hilarious.
Steve Martin goes, I've been shot already. like that matters at all to anything. And then he goes over to the guy and he takes the
Realization,
gun and he takes the bullet out. And
Hold on.
when he has that bullet and he holds it up, that's classic Steve Martin. He's like, I'll take this, and he puts it in his pocket and he walks off. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Oh, that scene is hilarious.
And then what if you pay attention to what cracks me up is when they come and beg for their life right after that, El Guapo says, I don't shoot, what do you say, I only shoot men. He said, I don't shoot crying women. And as soon as he says that, all three of them
they're like, yes. Oh,
like they sigh relief. Like, oh, okay, good. It's pretty funny, man. I don't shoot crying women. Oh. The collective sigh of relief. That's pretty great.
It's good, man. Oh, Jesus, it's a funny scene. So yeah, we get to El Guapo's, and
wait, we left the canteen scene out. You got to talk about the canteen scene.
Yeah,
when Chevy Chase has all the water.
Yeah, man, that is
on the ground.
Classic. That's the scene, classic
That's
scene
the
from
sand,
this
yeah.
movie.
That's right.
It's yeah.
Lip balm. That is so great, man. Because you're expecting it, they do the drop and then they do the sand, and you're thinking, oh, what's his going to be? And it's just like, it's like, wow. He's bathing.
He gargles it and spits it out.
Yeah, he gargles it.
Oh, man. It's good. They're funny. I still, we're kind of going backwards again. I still love the first time that they do, when they still think it's a routine. With not El Guapo, but the guys, and they do their little dance.
Yes.
And they get on the horses and they ride around. Right. Oh man, it's such a great premise for a movie.
Son of a motherless goat.
That's right. Which is the same one.
It's a motherless goat.
Those guys are just totally baffled by what's going on. They're like, what is happening right now?
Oh, and then the one guy asking him, should we kill them? And he's like,
he says,
no, El Guapo. El Guapo
no,
should
we must tell El Guapo what we've seen here today. Like, I don't even know what that means.
Because at that point, they think
El
they're
Guapo,
like the German guys still, right?
Do what?
I mean, because at that point, don't they think they're still... I can't, no.
No, they don't know they're, no, I don't think they know they're German. I don't think they know.
No,
I
those
thought
guys
they
don't
were.
know any of that. Those guys are El Guapo's guys. They're different guys.
Right.
But they go back and when they're telling him about what happened, the guy says they were riding all over the town. It's like a circle. They were riding in a circle, like all over the town.
I mean, it's a small town. It's a small town.
Yeah, it's a small town.
Okay, so we get to El Guapo's mansion, whatever it is. We have the breaking in scene where they all kind of get in, they all get separated. Steve Martin gets caught, goes into the jail. The jail scene, while a little bit painful, I didn't really find it near as funny as any of the rest of the movie.
No, I didn't think it was.
I thought it was. I mean, I think they were playing it for funny, but I just didn't find it humorous.
It was okay. It was all right. Yeah, it wasn't hilarious.
I did find it hilarious that Martin Short got trapped in the piñatas the entire time.
Dude, the thing about that is, okay, he's up there for what, hours? Hours. Like so, but every time they cut to show him, he's laughing and smiling at the festivities going on underneath him. He's like kind of grinning, like, hey, this is kind of great, man.
He's having a great time.
He's having a good old time, man.
Good old time.
It's hilarious.
Oh, Chevy Chase gets in, rescues the girl, Steve Martin's girl, and then in order to blend in, he wears their clothes. This is my other scene that I laugh at every time, when he wears the clothes and he tries to blend in, and El Guapo comes over and starts asking him, what they did together. Yeah. He's like, we raped all the horses. It's just my favorite.
Yeah.
Listen, I know it's a swear word, but when Guapo says, "Who the hell are you?"
If you pay attention to Chevy Chase right before El Guapo comes to him, when he's talking about the other guys and they all have tequila bottles in their hand, and they're all drinking a shot every time, and Chevy Chase has nothing in his hand, so he just goes, he's like, he just does this movement like, oh, it's like trying to pretend. It's just funny.
Oh, he's great.
That's funny.
Okay, so then they all get back together. Steve Martin falls out of the piñatas, and then we find out that
Martin Short.
Martin Short.
Right. Whatever.
Get it right.
They're Martins, the little one. Martin Short falls out. We've been told throughout the movie that he starred in this series of shows where he was a little Western kid.
Yeah.
It's
Little
basically
Nettie.
like Doogie
What is it? What are the
Howser.
movies called? Nettie goes to.
Little Nettie goes to something.
Something. It's basically like Doogie Howser of the West.
Yeah.
And we find out that this German guy only got his shows and was in love with him until he found out he was an actor. And so then they have a stare down. They have a face off. Quick draw.
Drills him down.
Martin Short says, "I am that fast."
So all I want to say on this scene is they hand Martin Short a gun that he almost falls over with holding.
Yes. That
But
giant gun.
then a couple of scenes later, he quick draws that sucker and
Yeah,
murders
I
the
know.
German guy. I just found that a
a
little
great scene.
excessive.
A little unbelievable. Just a little.
Only a hair.
It was just a
Here's
little
what-
excessive.
Hold on a second. Has El Guapo already received his sweater
Oh man,
at this
the
point?
sweater. Oh, the
Because
sweater.
that's a great sweater.
That is a great.
Me and Hefe and all the boys
Oh, the boys.
pitched in.
That's right. That's right before he goes out and tells the. You know,
Yeah, and
he
starts
gets every
connecting
case,
with
yeah.
all the guys. Yeah.
Oh,
That's so funny. Hey, can I throw something out that I thought was really funny?
Yeah, of course.
I love Martin Short's Ned character, like that he has all this backstory of like, you know, being a child actor, and he's telling the story on the steps, and he's like, Dorothy Gish, she looked right at me. She's like, you really have it. And he's just like, Dorothy Gish, Lillian's sister. It's like
Nobody knows that.
Nobody has a clue who that is, you know. But he's got this whole backstory. It just cracks me up. What would you do with the money? Oh, I would start an orphanage for kids. Oh yeah, yeah. I thought about that. I'd probably do that too.
That reminds me of the that scene reminded me of the Steve Martin SNL Christmas wish skit that he did when he's like, if I could have one thing for Christmas, it would be for $1 million. Or what? If you've not seen this, you need to look it up. He basically the first one is, if I could have one wish for Christmas, I would wish for all the children and all the world to be together in harmony. And then he's like, but if I could have 2 wishes for Christmas, I would wish for $1 million into a foreign bank account and for all the children. And he's like, and if I could have 3 wishes, I would. And he eventually gets to like 5. And if I could have 5, it'd be all that crap about the children, and then the money,
yeah,
and then.
starts blowing them off.
So it's a little bit of that. Yeah, when he's like the orphanage, like, oh yeah, we were, yeah, that's what we were gonna do that too. Yeah, I thought of that. So. Ebert, is it what's I get them?
Roger Ebert.
Is it Roger? Okay, yeah, because Siskel's dead. I forget their first name, so it's Roger,
both
right?
They're both
Oh,
dead
wait.
now, aren't they?
Are they?
Roger Ebert died about 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
Not before a large portion of his face.
Jaw was missing. Yes.
Thank you. My bad. All right, so the great Siskel and Ebert gave this movie 1 star.
Dummies.
But they never liked anything funny.
They
What is it with critics and comedy? Critics hate slapstick. They just
Because they think it's lowbrow.
I know, and it drives me crazy.
yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, that stuff's not easy to write.
no, it's actually harder.
It's hard to write that and be good. Like, anybody can write Hot Shots Part 2 and turn a rooster into an arrow. That's lame. But like, to write it where you have like a story that progresses and actually develops and still have that humor written in there, that takes some doing.
I
think it's a nice little story. It has a good storyline.
Yeah, it's a funny premise that we've actually seen. Like this is Galaxy Quest, right? Like this is a group of actors
That's
who
a
are
good
turning to
comparison.
save the world, right? And so like it's a great premise, and this is the first time we've actually seen it. It's actually been done probably a few times, but since then, but what I find interesting is to have a movie that is not only quotable but is still funny. What are we, 30 years later? You know, almost 40 years later, like that. That's impressive. I mean, you know, we quote things like Dumb and Dumber, and to be able to write a joke that when you hear it after watching a movie 3 or 4 or 5 times still makes you laugh, like that is hard. That is hard to have something to resonate that long.
Right. And a lot of comedies are just like little, like a comedian has a bit that he does and they just like, it's a bit, you know, here, and then it's a bit there.
Yeah.
But this movie's just like a whole story. Like I said, it's not just like, hey, let's get Steve Martin to do the arrow in the head joke, you know, or whatever. It plays on all of it all the way through.
I love when they're at the campfire eating bats and then they sing the song. The song is fantastic. It comes completely out of nowhere, and then the animals start singing with them, and then the turtle talks.
That's a little weird.
I didn't actually like that scene at all. I felt like
I didn't either, but it was fine. Okay, Chris, I have a movie for you.
All right,
I have a movie for you, Philip. You might remember this, but I doubt it. There's a movie with Tom Berenger, I think it came out in 1985. It's called Rustler's Rhapsody. And it's about a singing cowboy.
Nope.
If you like that scene, you would love Rustler's Rhapsody.
Okay, I'll look it up.
You probably could never find it anywhere.
I'll find it somewhere.
I remember seeing that, and I enjoyed that.
I'll check it out. Before they had John Landis do this, Steven Spielberg was actually in talks to direct this movie, Three Amigos. And his original cast, who he was looking at casting, was Steve Martin in his role, Bill Murray in the place of Chevy Chase, and Robin Williams in the place of Martin Short.
Would not have been good.
Yeah, that would have been.
Robin Williams is a little more manic, probably. I don't think he would. I don't know.
He would have been stuck in the pinata going, hey,
yeah. I can't see him in a trio. I think he would be. I don't know. But Murray, Ghostbusters, but
it would have been good.
I don't see.
But his
Williams.
humor is too cynical. Like the whole thing about the Three Amigos is they're innocent enough to believe that this thing is real, right? Or like it's not like they're not cynical, they're not jaded. They're like, I mean, obviously they're a little bit, but they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go do this thing, you know, and they really believe. Like you never would buy that Bill Murray wouldn't be tapped into like.
Bill Murray would never come across as a simpleton in that way.
No.
He plays a good goofball, but he's never a simpleton like these guys did. He couldn't do that.
Yeah,
it would be fun though to see, like, now that we have kind of years of those guys not being defined by that work anymore, to have like Bill Murray, obviously not Robin Williams, but like to have some of those guys go back and read those lines.
Oh, it'd be hilarious.
How they would deliver those lines. Like, how would he deliver, it's real. It's real.
It's real. I would argue that if Spielberg would have done it, it wouldn't have been quite the same tone as it ended up being. So I think the actors may have fit better with his tone. The movie was in pre-production for a long time. So Spielberg actually left to do E.T. And so then it passed to Landis, and the very early, talking with Landis doing the movie, he actually had Steve Martin, Dan Aykroyd in the Chevy Chase role, and then Jim Belushi in the Martin Short role.
That's a lot of comedy right there.
So that was the earliest cast for Landis, and of course then they finally ended up with the cast that they had. So just shows you, if the timing was different, this could have been a completely different movie. I have a final question to close us out, but before we do, I mean, any final thoughts, anything that we missed that you want to talk about?
Yes.
All right.
I have a couple quick thoughts. I'll just toss them out.
Let's do it.
Number one is PETA would be very unhappy with the treatment of chickens in this movie. They are getting trampled nonstop by horses and people alike. If you go back and watch it, there are chickens everywhere, and they're getting kicked all over the place. I'm not kidding. They're everywhere.
It's Mexico in 1916.
I know.
There probably
I'm just
were
saying,
chickens everywhere.
There is multiple scenes of them getting
Period film.
kicked by horses. Number 2 is when he says, "Everybody throw down your guns," and Chevy Chase tosses his gun.
Not you.
He goes, "Not you, Dusty." Just kind of like from afar, just like the way it sounds like, "Not you, Dusty."
When he says it, he doesn't say it with like ire or criticism. He just says it exactly.
It's like legitimate, like, "No, not you, Dusty." So that, I thought that was pretty funny. And then 2 more real quick. You didn't mention the airplane scene when they're flying on the plane.
Oh, that's right.
That is pretty funny, man.
That's right. They're riding
Chevy
on it. They're holding on to the
wings. He's hanging on the wing, and he's going, Ned. It's pretty funny. And then Martin Short screaming is killing me. Last thing, and I'm done. At about 49 minutes into the movie, when Guapo is destroying the village, there is a scene of a stunt man getting hit by a horse.
I've seen it.
That is brutal. I don't know how that dude is, if he is still alive. I looked to see if there was like a dead stunt man or something, but he just gets hammered. He moves out of the way of one horse, and the other horse just slams him off the screen.
I'll have to watch
and they add a sound effect. It just goes wham. But it's brutal, man. It's right around the 49 minutes, and it's rough.
I'll have to watch it. I missed that. I missed that completely. There is, if we're talking about little Easter eggs, in the scene where they get tossed out of the studio, if you look in the very far left, the very last house you can see actually has like a 1960s car in the driveway. You can only see like part of the door and the hood, but you can see it. It's
probably
funny.
A backlot scene.
Oh wait, we didn't mention Phil Hartman's in this movie.
Oh, that's
man.
right, Phil Hartman and Lovitz.
And Lovitz,
that's
but
right.
Hartman's dead, man.
Hartman's
that was
dead.
a little nostalgic moment there.
Yeah,
I love Phil Hartman.
Yeah. It was. I actually forgot they were in it when I watched it again because they're both in the same scene right there in the beginning. Both.
The Amigos are out of the mansion. Get the Amigos clothes.
I think we should just make Donnie reenact the whole movie.
We're the real Amigos.
That's actually our sister podcast. It's just basically where Donnie reenacts all of the movies to a camera.
I would like to do that with Ace Ventura. I would like to be tapped for the reenactment. I watched that the other day.
Ace Ventura.
That movie is great. The first one is so good.
Oh look, they're little footballs.
Oh wait, what about that scene when he says, "I think it's a mail plane"?
Yeah, that's right.
And they have no clue what he's talking about. They're just standing there like, and the way Martin Short delivers that line, he's dying. He's just like,
he thinks it's funny.
Up. And they're like,
and then they finally kind of laugh, so he stops. And then when he starts to walk away, they're like, "Yeah, we don't."
They have no clue what he's talking about.
Okay, let me ask you this. This is going to be the question we're going to wrap with.
Wait, before we do that.
Yeah, hit me.
Rustler's Rhapsody, full movie, YouTube.
Oh, all right. I guess I got.
Like Singing Cowboys. There you go.
I like Singing Cowboys. I guess. I like Singing Coyotes and Singing Turtles. But
they probably have that in there too.
All right. Let's wrap with this. If you had to, we're rebooting Three Amigos.
Oh no.
2019. If you have to cast the 3 lead actors right now, who
you're looking at us right here.
Let's get
that's the
talent.
question. Who's who of this group?
That's true.
We'll come back to that after the reboot.
Okay, so you have to ask in your question. You have to ask number 1, who's good with physical comedy. Number 2, who could play the simpleton well.
Okay,
that's a tough question. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
who's out there today? Who's some popular comedic actors right now?
I mean,
Jim Carrey.
Okay, so think Jim Carrey's actually an artist now.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Oh yeah, I saw that on the thing.
He's a painter.
But he's kind of manic too. Like he.
Yeah. I mean, Kevin James is a physical, funny actor.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
I'm trying to think. Let's see.
I think they made this movie. It's called Ridiculous Six on Netflix. with
Oh, I
Adam
haven't
Sandler.
watched it yet, but yeah, they did. They
Is that
did.
good?
They did.
I've
make that.
seen it.
Is it
I'm trying to
good?
think who are. I
It's
mean,
not good.
I'm trying to think of comedy. I mean, you have people like Jonah Hill, and
He's too self-aware.
yeah.
Like,
He would be John Lovitz.
I
He was
could,
out of the mansion.
I could see Seth Rogen in the Chevy Chase role.
he could do that. He could do the simpleton, and
And
he could do that.
you could probably put James Franco
Carell.
as the lead, as Steve Martin's
Steve
character.
Carell could play Martin Short's character.
Oh my
Who?
gosh, Steve Carell would
Steve
be
Carell?
fantastic.
Oh yeah,
Oh, he'd be
What
fantastic
about-
as that role.
yeah. He's good with physical comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
What
That's
about
good.
Will Ferrell?
Will Ferrell could do. I mean, he fits the Chevy Chase role. He fits the simpleton role, I think.
That's what I would think too. Yeah.
Yeah. So you put Will Ferrell, and they're SNL people. So if you put Will Ferrell, and then you got Steve Carell. So who do you have as the lead then? What's who else would work there? Oh, what about if, okay? So this is gonna change things up a little bit, but what about Kevin Hart? What about Kevin Hart in the Martin Short role?
He's
That would be great.
He could do it.
he's a little like he's kind of Robin Williams to me. He's a little manic.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I would agree
Yeah.
with that. I would agree.
He's
With
funny.
that. Would you put The Rock?
What
in the
about
lead?
what
The
about
Rock.
the what's that guy's name? The Key and Peele.
Oh my
guys?
gosh, yeah.
The one
Michael
that-
Key.
Yeah, Keegan-Michael Key. Jordan
Yeah,
Peele.
that guy.
Jordan Peele directs.
Yeah.
Keegan-Michael Key.
Yeah,
Look,
there you
we
go.
make the whole cast African
He's
American.
Steve
Oh.
Martin.
Go.
He's Steve
Keegan-Michael
Martin. He's the lead.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's Keegan-Michael Key.
And then
Kevin
you got
Hart
Will
is Michael
Ferrell.
And then
Short.
Terry Crews.
Steve
Terry
Carell.
Crews is Chevy Chase.
Terry Crews.
We did it.
That's your.
All right. Any final thoughts? Yes, no.
Classic.
It's a great
Funny.
movie.
Yeah.
If you've not seen Three Amigos, it's very hard to find. It is not streaming anywhere, but you can rent it from most of your places: iTunes,
You
Amazon.
can watch it on
Stuff like that.
YouTube,
Cropped.
but you can only watch. You can. I did.
Yeah, but it's
but-
cropped.
It's. Oh, you said cropped.
Yeah,
I thought you
cropped.
said probably.
Oh no, it's there, but it's cropped, right?
It's cropped, yeah.
Yeah.
You can see enough of it to say you watched, but you'll miss some of the nuances. But if
Yeah.
you just were refreshing your. Yeah,
I have a
know them.
library card. That's how I watched it.
Did you watch it? Did you watch the
Yeah.
pop-up book version?
I got the DVD at the library, and I watched it.
When you put your DVD in your machine, did it go, what is this?
I put it in my Blu-ray player, and thankfully it worked.
So
Doesn't always.
if you're listening to this show, a library is a building where they keep a bunch of books that you can borrow for free. Actually, Google
But
it.
because people don't read books, they needed to put movies in to attract them.
I read books.
I know you do.
Yeah, you do, but not anybody else. All right, guys, this is episode 1 of Real Amigos. That was our discussion on Three Amigos. We hope you enjoyed it. You can find our episode on SoundCloud, and you can subscribe to our channel there and tune into what we're doing there. And you can follow us all on Twitter. Donnie, where can we follow? You're rubbing your parrot. That sounded bad.
Wait, I'm curious how many little netties do you give this movie?
How many little netties, Donnie?
I would give this movie 78 plethoras.
Of do you know what a plethora is?
A plethora?
Yeah, sure.
Good. 78 plethoras out of how many? 80 plethoras?
Just however many you want.
Many plethoras.
Many. Out of many plethoras.
Phil, what would you rate this movie?
16 little netties.
Out
Good call.
of what?
All of them.
16 out of all the little netties.
Man.
That's good. That's a good one. It's a good rank.
Nice. And I would actually give it two little buttercups. All right, that's our show. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time. Bye.
Adios.
Adios.
Bye.
We should say adios.
Adios.